He looked at her with a half smile, the kind that was both shy and full of dreams. I'll marry you when I'm rich, he whispered. She laughed softly, shaking her head, her hands busy wiping the dishes she had just prepared. The smell of fried chicken and warm cornbread filled the small kitchen, but she barely noticed. Her heart had already noticed him, this poor boy with a ragged jacket and shoes that had seen better days. She had fed him when he had nothing, shared her food when he had nowhere else to go. And in that moment, he made a promise she tucked deep inside her heart, thinking it was just a boy's foolish dream. Years later, the streets that had been their playground had changed, the small houses now replaced with bigger buildings, the air thick with the scent of opportunity. But her life hadn't changed much. She worked double shifts, washed dishes in diners, and smiled through the exhaustion, always wondering if that boy, that promise, was ever more than a fleeting memory. And then one evening, as she carried her usual tray of plates and silverware back to the kitchen, a sleek black car pulled up outside the diner. It stopped abruptly, and she noticed him stepping out, impeccably dressed, a confidence in his stride she had never seen before. Her heart skipped. The boy she had once known, the boy who had promised her the world, had returned. But he wasn't the same boy. He was taller, sharper, commanding attention without even trying. And yet, the memory of that small kitchen, the smell of cornbread, the laughter they shared, all of it came rushing back. He spotted her instantly. His eyes, the same warm brown she remembered, sparkled with recognition. She froze. Could it really be him? Years had passed, life had changed them both, but some things, she realized, were impossible to forget. He approached, and she noticed a small box in his hand, sleek and black, matching the elegance of his appearance. I kept my promise, he said softly, his voice carrying the weight of every struggle, every dream, every night he had spent working to make this moment possible. She blinked, unsure if she should laugh or cry, unsure if this was a dream or reality. I remember what you said, she whispered. When you were just a boy, sitting on that old porch, promising me a life I couldn't imagine. I didn't think you'd ever come back. He smiled, almost shyly, and opened the box to reveal a simple, elegant ring. I had to come back. I promised myself I'd never let that moment fade, never let you fade. Her mind raced. All those years she had spent wondering, hoping, fearing she'd never see him again. All those nights when she had saved every extra penny, thinking maybe life was just unfair. And here he was, proof that promises, no matter how small, no matter how young the heart that made them, could come true. She remembered the cold nights, the small meals, the laughter, and the silent understanding between them. He had never asked for anything, never demanded love, never pressured her. He simply shared her world when it was the only world she had, and promised a better one. And now, standing there, years later, he had returned to fulfill it. She looked into his eyes, seeing both the boy she had known and the man he had become. The contrast was breathtaking. And yet, it felt like no time had passed at all. It was as if life had taken its course, testing patience, resilience, and faith, only to reward them both with this perfect, unexpected reunion. I never forgot you, he admitted. Every day, I worked towards the promise I made. Not for wealth, not for power, but for the chance to stand here and tell you, finally, that I'm ready. Ready to honor what we had, what we dreamed of, and what we can still build together. Her heart raced, tears welling up. She had fed him once when he was hungry, and he had returned to nourish her soul in ways she had never imagined. The diner around them faded into the background. It was just them, two hearts entwined by the threads of memory, promise, and unspoken love. She finally smiled through the tears, feeling a warmth that had been missing for years. I believed in you, she said softly. Even when I had nothing, I believed you'd come back. He took her hands gently, holding them as if to never let go. And I am here, not because I'm rich, not because I want to impress you, but because I promised. And a promise, once made, is sacred. Time seemed to stand still. Every hardship, every struggle, every lonely night of wondering had led to this. And for the first time in years, she felt truly seen, truly valued, truly loved. He knelt down on one knee, the box open, the ring catching the warm glow of the diner lights. She gasped, tears spilling freely now. Will you marry me? He asked. Simple words, yet they carried the weight of years, of struggle, of promises kept. She looked at him, at the boy who had once sat hungry on her porch, now transformed into the man who had returned to fulfill his word. She nodded, unable to speak at first, her voice trembling. Yes, she whispered finally. And in that moment, laughter, tears, and the echoes of a shared past wrapped around them. Life, unpredictable and often cruel, had given them the rarest gift, proof that promises made with a true heart could survive time, poverty, distance, and doubt. They embraced, not as a boy and girl, not as strangers, but as two souls who had recognized the value of loyalty, care, and unwavering belief in each other. And as they held each other, the world seemed to pause, honoring the promise made so long ago, a promise that had traveled through years, challenges, and uncertainty to finally blossom into love fulfilled. She would never forget the nights she had fed him, the days she had waited, the hope she had nurtured quietly in her heart. And he would never forget the vow made in youthful sincerity, the determination to honor a girl who had shown him kindness when the world had shown him none. Together, they stepped forward into a future built on the foundation of trust, care, and a promise kept, a promise that poverty, time, and life itself could never break. And as the sun set, casting golden hues across the city streets, it felt as though the universe itself had paused to witness this rare, beautiful, long-awaited reunion, a testament to love, faith, and the power of keeping one's word no matter the cost.